Hey there everyone, it's Helen. I'm the national artist for Sephora collection, and I'm joined today by the beautiful Mel. We are in the studio today to show you how to get a beginner-friendly smoky eye. I have 3 products and some simple techniques to add easy drama to your eye in no time. Let's get started. Okay, so as you can see, Mel already has on her beautiful complexion as well as a lip, so we're gonna just dive right in with the first product. So this is Sephora Collection 12-Hour Contour Pencil Eyeliner. I love this pencil because it is a gel, so very, very creamy, something that's easy to apply, and really just glides right on, so it will not pull at your lid at all, and it makes it so you don't get any of that weird skipping that sometimes you get when you have a drier kind of formula or pencil, which some formulas are just a little bit drier and those work for different looks, but this is something you want to look for if you are new to makeup because you will be able to smudge this with ease. So I'm putting on a pretty thick line. Mel has a beautiful, nice, big space to work with, so it's going to be great to really load this up and then diffuse it out. And I'm going to smudge this out using the Sephora Collection Pro Shadow Brush number 18. This is a smudge brush, so look for anything that is tapered, really firm to move the product around. This will give you a nice controlled smudge, and that's really what you're looking for. You don't want a brush that's too big because then it'll get out of control and just kind of go everywhere. You want it to be diffused exactly where you want it. So I'm keeping the depth close to the lash line and smoking out this top edge a bit. And the nice thing about gel liners is that you can always go in directly with your brush and just diffuse that line a little more. If it's dried up a little bit, that'll kind of reactivate the product. But gel liners are nice because you have a lot of time to play with them until they dry. Okay, that's looking pretty good. Now I'm gonna move on to the bottom lash line. Depending on your eye shape, you can drop the shadow really low. I am going to just make sure that it's feeling a little bit more tapered. If you're a beginner, usually you don't wanna go crazy smoky. You just wanna have it be something that has a nice smoke all the way throughout. So I'm gonna just hug her bottom lash line here and not go all the way across with the depth of this. This one is the darkest liner we're using, so that's what you want to keep towards the lash line. And then we can always diffuse it more with the shadow later. And if you're new to applying any eye look, I always recommend making sure that it hugs all the way around your eye, even if it's a lighter shade or something that's not as dark, maybe an everyday look. It's just gonna make everything marry together and look really polished. And then of course, just diffusing this bottom part as well so it looks the same as it does on the top.
What do you mean by diffuse?
So when you're diffusing things, you're wanting to take it from like a really intense shade to something a little less intense. So you're basically taking the shadow and moving it around, or taking the eyeliner and moving it around so it's becoming less opaque at the top. And just making sure that I have the opacity that I want right here on the edge. And that looks really good. I think we can start on the other side. Another thing to consider is really making sure you're working it into that lash line so that there's no gap between your lashes and the liner.
And do you take it all the way across?
Yes, all the way across. I try to do it like a little thinner on the inner corner and tapered on the outer corner as well, so the thickness is really in the center. And that's really just because it's going to be a smoky eye, so it's less about liner and more about smoking it out. Okay, that is looking like a great first step. All right, so on to the next step. I'm going to use Charlotte Tilbury Color Chameleon eyeshadow pencil. These are great because eyeshadow pencils are a little thicker, so they're going to lay on the product a little bit thicker all over, so you can lay down the product quicker. And usually they dry a little bit more slowly than your typical eyeliner, so you have a little bit more time to blend and move them around however you want. So I am just applying this directly over some of that diffused eyeliner. So I'm keeping the depth right at the lash line, but this will sort of give you that false illusion of blending 2 shades seamlessly without really having to make a lot of effort towards that.
How far up do you go with this?
So that is a great question. A tip that I have is to look forward, and you can mark out how high you want to go with it. Usually you don't want to go much higher than this crease, and so it's just peeking through a little bit when your eye is open. If you go much higher, it can just start to look a little bit too big for anybody's eye shape. That's really what you want to try to achieve, is something that's tighter to your eye to really flatter the overall shape. And I just love to use fingers. I think I recommend this to anybody who's just beginning. Do not discount using your fingers to get that perfect blend. They will move product around really, really well. Beautiful. So again, we're going to wrap the shadow underneath to really marry the look and make everything look uniform. So look up for me. Beautiful. And going a little bit over that diffused liner and then right underneath the eye. So it's not super dark on that inner corner, so it won't close her eye. And for this, I'm also going to use the number 18 smudge brush just to give a little polish to this shadow stick. Okay, that looks very good. I love purple on you. It's looking beautiful. And now onto the other eye. And the other thing that I forgot to mention is that the eyeliner was matte, but this has a slight shimmer to it. If you can, use mattes towards your lash line. That'll just help even more with that depth at the lash line. For smoky eye, that's really what you're looking for. And then, of course, you can always use something sparkly or something with a sheen as you go up and diffuse it out. And you can always put some of the shadow stick on your finger to help you gain a little bit more control and have a little more product on your eye. And I don't use a finger underneath the eye, just because for me, I feel like that's a little hard when your eye is open and you have your big finger next to your eye. It makes you blink a lot. So I tend to use a smudge brush, but of course, if you're at home and you're doing it to yourself, it's much easier. So you can definitely try out a finger as well. I'm loving how this looks. I think we are ready to move on to mascara. Okay, for this look, I think it's very important that you have a real statement lash. So this is the Melt Cosmetics Supernatural Lash Mascara. It really does everything. It's gonna give you mega volume, tons of length, hold that curl. It does everything. Look down. It has a nice brush to it. So it really allows it so that your lashes get nice and fluffy and big so that you can see them with the smoky eye. And whenever applying mascara, my best tip is to really just do like a zigzag motion. So you kind of zigzag and then pull through, and that'll make it so a lot of the formula ends up at the base of the lash, and then you're pulling it through your lashes to really build them up and lengthen. And don't forget about these lashes on the inner corner. That is super important. Okay, so this mascara is giving you some mega volume and length. I just like to fan them out a little bit. You can do this at home too, just making sure that all the lashes are going in the direction you want them to. Beautiful. Okay, and now look up for me. I'll do some of those bottom lashes. And with bottom lashes, I feel like it's best to just kind of comb down, and that way you can capture them. Okay, that's looking great. Now let's move on to the other side. And if you're a person who has a hard time putting on mascara where it doesn't get all over your lid, you can certainly do mascara first, especially when you're using creams or sticks. That will make sure that it doesn't fall onto your lashes. It's really when it's shadow, like a powder shadow, that you end up getting fallout and you can't apply mascara first. Look at me. Whoa, I love these lashes. Okay, look up. Okay, Mel, do you want to see the look?
I do.
Can't wait to show you.
Oh, that looks lovely. And I love the colors. 3 products, it's easy for me to pull off.
Right? 3 products and you just do a little smudging and it's done. Voila. Okay, so this is the final smoky eye look. You can see that I chose products that are really easy to apply, get that opacity right away, very easy to blend so you can look like a pro. I feel like that's the hardest part with smoky eye. If you liked this video, please like and subscribe. I'd love to hear in the comments if you've tried a smoky eye recently with any of our shadow sticks. And until next time, bye everybody.